Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I was due in Nashville, Tennessee, and welcome to Skybase Adventure Wizard. It's taken me a few days to figure out two things that were wrong with my frames that were preventing me from moving everything all at once. For one thing, for some reason, these little alchemical devices here need to have their panels facing them from the sides. They will stop the entire frame if you have them on the bottom there alone, which I lost literally days trying to figure out. I also had a furnace in this little spot here. This must be a frame for the whole thing to operate, or that'll make your frame stick too. 5 hours or so of just removing stuff and reassembling stuff. So if this looks like a terrible mess, it's because I pretty much removed every single piece of it and re-added them until I figured out what was wrong. In this case, several things. Anyway, what I really want to do now is make this thing move. So I'm not sure the best way to do this, but let's just start slapping some stuff on here and hope that it's effective. So we are just going to grab a bunch of this and add us some frame motors here. Now, let's see, I'm probably going to want to have actually a panel. Oh, did not bring my panels with me, but whatever. I'm going to have to put a panel on there so I can have that attached to something. Although, really, maybe I'm going to want to have a redstone wire thing. One of them fancy red cables. Red alloy wires. There we go. Red alloy wire. Got my stone panel going back down. Boom. You know what? And I probably could run the red alloy wire directly along here. That might or might not be the case, but we will find out shortly. So we're just going to panel this up. Panel that. Boom. It is really hard to do that while flying. So let's just kind of take the slow and steady wins the race approach here. And, okay. So now we are at least this high. So we will kind of just extend this upward until it roughly aligns with our base here. Okay. So now we are going to need to actually grab more of these frames because you can never have enough frames. What if you need to frame somebody for a crime that you didn't commit? I mean, they didn't commit, or didn't they? We will just need to attach that there, and like so. So now what we'll do is we'll move the whole base over until we can get it to kind of connect to this. Let's see, I think I want to use this one. Nope. Nope, we want the opposite one. Let's shut that off. Shut it off. Off. Okay, yeah, so other way. And what we'll do is we will actually, let's see. We'll go ahead and set up our frame motor to attach outward here. And have that be located, let's say, right here. Whoops. Well, either way, that'll kind of work. And eventually that'll grab onto there, I hope. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be a problem all of a sudden, isn't it? Turn it off, turn it off. So, it did actually manage to run this straight into the ground before I shut it off. Luckily, I did indeed shut it off just in time, so we don't have the problems we were about to have. Let's make sure it's not connected anywhere. Oh, I probably don't want to have the wire running down the same side as the frame, so we're going to go ahead and set that up like so. Okay, and let's see, we're also probably going to need to, it might just make more sense. Oh, you know what I probably should do? Is just use another one of them acoustic things. So maybe all of those panels were a huge waste. Either way, let's go ahead and get out some more of this blue alloy wire and run this to one of our frame motors. We really don't need both here. So we'll pick that one up and before it goes down there. And we'll get our nice little frame thing here and run this along to here. Whoops, that was not where we wanted that. Am I all out of blue alloy wire? That is indeed a great tragedy, because I would like to have not run out of that. But all this stuff connects here, so I think I can actually go ahead and pull that one and that one. without any major ill effects. So, now, if we just go ahead and set this frame up as well over here, so that it has a nice little redstone, a nice little place we can attach our redstone, which I should have brought a torch. Grabbing redstone torches. Don't necessarily do that by the sharp, bright part. You will stab and burn your hand. Poor kid. Okay, so, is that facing the right way? No, not this time. So what we'll do is we will now turn this facing upward. And we'll set that there. And I think what I actually want is another timer here. So let's see, do I have another timer? And gate timer. Okay, great. So I'll ultimately hook this up to my my arcane ears. But for right now, this will have to do. So we will go ahead and set this up like so, with a switch here and a timer facing that way. And that will begin drawing this upward, and that'll make me able to move the entire unit. Actually, you know what though we got? We've got our diamond chest, which I had originally taken out from here, but I think we're going to want to reattach. Now, the diamond chest originally was on this side, so let's go ahead and reattach that here. Do I need a panel for that, or because it's a block, will it operate? Let's find out real quick. Nope, it's operating. And in the long term, what I'll probably end up doing... Now, if I add the other frame motor just running straight down on here, will that run away with this thing? Let's find out. Okay. So, we're adding one frame here. Whoops. So, we add a frame here, then a frame here, right? And then we put our frame motor right there. And, of course, it's facing the wrong way. Okay, I want to have it... There we go. Actually, that's backwards, isn't it? I want to have it facing the same way as the other one. There we go. So now I just need to make sure it's pointed down. Okay, it is. And I also need to make sure that it is powered, which it is currently not. So let's go ahead and actually just shorten this length a bit by filling in this. So that's one less thing to worry about then. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. So we can just attach that there, then run this up to here, which does not actually run to the device itself. Okay, I think in theory I can break this one, and that's a redundant wire. If I put that there, will it begin to charge? No, that is not charging at all. Okay, well, how else can we do this? We can place this here. And like that. Well, that won't work for other reasons. Okay, well, if we run the frame around like that, so that it is connected like so, then we run this part like this, so that the blue alloy wire connects to here, and then into here. Now, let's also make sure that the entire thing still moves, that we haven't somehow, like, ruined our whole frame's ability to move. Okay, good. The whole frame is still flying. So we will just come back up here. Awesome. Now, what we are going to test next is, whoops. Go ahead and let it go for a little bit. We're going to test now to see if we can still move stuff up and down without these two frame motors interfering with each other. Okay, cool. So that's not interfering with that one. And if we were to apply some power to this one here, which I'm rapidly running out of logical ways to do that, we'll just set that up like so. If I add a redstone torch here, will that lower it? Awesome. So now I could set up an arcane ear on this one and an arcane ear on this one with separate timers from my control booth and have this thing going up and down. Now, until I actually reach that point, what I want to do is just simply to move the entire drilling platform over a ways. Because if I go out this way a little bit, do I hit a new, more powerful aura node anywhere? Really? All the aura nodes over here are just terrible, it seems. No, no good aura nodes. Really? Really? Thanks, Thaumcraft. Okay. Well, so that's pretty lame, but even with the terrible aura node we do have over there, which is undergoing quite a bit of stress on account of all of the insanity from this thing, we are just going to go ahead and I think I want to hit this third one here. I'm going to add signs of some sort to this, and that'll make this a lot easier down the way. But yeah, so once we have traveled far enough this way, yeah, that's a pretty good distance, we can now begin employing our drilling mechanism once more. Oh, yes, actually, I did forget one thing. In order to employ the drilling mechanism, we will need yet another switch. You just cannot get anywhere in Minecraft without making a bunch of switches. Okay, so we got our switch. We are running very low on stone panels, so we'll go ahead and grab a cobblestone panel just in this one case to attach to here with our switch. And now that will begin emptying everything once again into our diamond chest. Down the line, what we want to do probably is replace that with a magic mirror or what have you. But let's see. So yeah, this is not going to overlap that. It is just burning a ton of energy though. A ton of that Thaumcraft energy, that Vis, the VDVDVC. But if we go ahead and, for example, move somewhere maybe more over there with our like massive black hole thing, what I can do with this platform is I can move it as the aura node begins getting depleted. What I probably should also do is go ahead and actually encase that aura node while this thing runs. So why don't we grab some Thaumcraft approved materials? Because we don't have very many of them. Well, yeah, it looks like I have quite a bit of a shortage of Thaumcraft glass at this point, and normal glass even. So I might need to go ahead and grab some more glass before I continue, but I will get right on that. Time skip. So while our drill over there runs, we are now just gonna kill this terrible skeleton, who should be dead already. That's part of his skeletal nature. That he, Oh, hey, that's neat. It seems to be grabbing power from the ore beneath the ground. So we are just going to build a platform here that is going to trap the aura node's power so it does not get all over our stuff. Because last thing we need is stuff spawning out of this aura node and then making terrible, terrible life decisions for the rest of us. It should be up to us to make our own terrible life decisions. So we are just going to trap that in there like so. Actually, we don't need that top layer. Let's go ahead and get our wand and break our warded glass, which can only be broken with the Thaumcraft wand. Now, any wisps or what have you that spawn inside of there, well, I ran out of glass before I wanted to, so we'll just, or not glass, warded stone bricks. Boom, that'll keep all that safe. We can just break this now. And, dang it. This is a terrible, dang it. Jumping with this hovercraft pack or whatever is a real pain sometimes. Cool. So now we can just hit this. Boom, boom, boom. And awesome. So, this will continue drilling indefinitely. And currently it is using a combination of tools that I can actually see by clicking on the drill. A pick and a wand, and the enchantments of that are, usable or applicable throughout there. So it is silk touching and whatnot, the different ores, so I can run them like the amber barren stone is much prettier. I like having the option of using it, and I'm also getting a whole bunch of, I don't have to recook my cobblestone if I want to make it the pretty smooth stone, which is nice. Now, I wonder, can I turn this on to lower this thing further while it's engaged, or will that be an idiotic nightmare? Well, that seems to be working. Okay, it seems to be redeploying and undeploying as I do it, which is fine, though. I just want to make sure that it actually can reach bedrock, because I know that there's a certain, like, it can only go such a certain distance. But awesome. This is definitely one of the cooler things that I have combined Thaumcraft and Red Power to make. So, anyway, until next time. Whoa, my jetpack just died. So anyway, welcome DocRedstone to the second half of my video about my portable Thaumcraft drilling platform. In the first half of the video, I essentially kind of had all this stuff rigged up manually, so I'd have to press buttons or whatnot to make it do anything. But since then, I've been hooking it up to these arcane ears, which are a form of wireless redstone. Essentially, when it makes a sound, like... Whoops, sorry. Let me leave that on.
Whoa.
So the way it works is Thaumcraft has a block that listens for particular notes. And so I just configure each timer here. So this one over here is now lower than that. Whoops. Now it's too low. It can't go any lower. So I might as well pull it back up, which hopefully should still work. So now you can see my drill bit here is moving up.
Wow.
And, you know, so one of the last things I wanted to try and get working on this, though, was a toggleable way for the...
and then you're using one of the fancy bores.
Yeah, the Thaumcraft bore. I wanted to figure out a way to set this up so that I could toggle this based on pulses. And, oh, dang it, I just ran out of jetpack power. Of course, I should have checked that before the video started. Time skip! Okay, so I am back. I've got my jetpack. And as you can see, the last arcane ear is right here. And what I'm hoping to do is hook it up so that every time it pulses, it toggles whether or not the drill is on or off, which it now does. I tried having this note block further up and higher up and stuff like that, but it just was too much of a problem getting... like, essentially there's only a certain range for these ears versus the note blocks, and so this is about the furthest I could have it. What I'm just going to have to do is probably set up a repeater and some wires, and I'll just set up my last toggle to run through here. You had mentioned, though, that I could use strips to isolate things somehow?
Yes.
So what does that mean? I just have to cut a bunch of stuff?
Yeah. Do you happen to have a diamond handsaw? If not, I can toss you mine.
So would I cut up a panel?
There you go.
Thank you.
Cut a block to a panel, and then the panel into a cover, and then the cover into these strips.
Okay, so panel into cover, and cover into strips. Okay, so here's your saw back. I left it right there on the ground, the safest place to leave any sharp implement.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so I can just now run this in... now, hopefully these will connect to my frame thing properly here. I didn't really think about that or take that into account. Can I still put a lever inside of this? No.
No, it only works with other multi-blocks.
Okay, so I'll put my lever here, because that'll still be fine. And then I'll run my red alloy wire through here. Oh, and now it doesn't interact with those note blocks. And so now I just need to run it down to this one, which, you know, will look terrible for right now, but later on, off camera, I can make that look decentable. So I know you were having trouble with the normal wireless redstone. Has that been fixed in the later releases?
Yes, it has. It works 100% now. The only problem I was having with it was having it work across Mistcraft ages, which I think was a Mistcraft bug. But like in the normal overworld, it always worked fine. So, but now it even works Mistcraft ages too. I have a quarry system set up using it. So.
What's the range on that?
The wireless redstone has no range. So you just like give it its specific signal and it works.
Like essentially in all loaded chunks.
Yes, exactly. It does have to be loaded, but besides that, it works wherever.
Okay, so I'm thinking, though, I probably don't need, because I'm pulsing this, to turn this on or off. I just need a pressure plate here. So right now the drill is on, which I have no way of easily seeing from there, but whatever. So if I now step on this pressure plate, which is going to be right in my way all the time, that's probably the worst way to do this. I should make this a button. I'm serious. I'm gonna be like, oh, I gotta move the whole thing over about 8 blocks before I start doing anything. And it's just like, oh, and the drill is now activated, because it's just like I'm just gonna fly in here and not realize I've hit it. Let's see. Oh wait, that's the up and down one. It's hard to remember. I need to actually install signs for all of these. Is that one?
Yeah,
Is that one out of
there's so
tune now?
much.
One of these, or is this not firing? One of the only problems with these is that they sometimes they get out of sync. How do you fix that on yours, where the second one gets out of sync?
I have it set up. It just fixes itself.
Gotcha.
Eventually, just like the constant pulsing will have it fix itself.
So you can actually, if you come down here, you'll see that this redeploys the laser every time. Each time it swings down and then starts shooting. Now, of course, it's not really getting anything valuable because it's just kind of scratching the surface for a second.
That's too funny.
I love the way it actually has that mechanical swing, downswing there. So let's go ahead and turn that off. And let's turn off the laser, which all I have to do is just run over this panel inadvertently. But yeah, so this is my crazy Thaumcraft base. What I actually want to start using this for as well is actually combining and moving aura nodes and stuff like that, which might or might not be its own little disaster. But theoretically, I could tug a ludicrously sized aura node toward another aura node and just keep combining them until I get an insane one, and then tug it behind me like a tugboat, turn on the drill, and just leave it running and not have to worry about anything.
Wow. This is quite the all-purpose machine. I mean, it has a Thaumcraft base on it. It's a mining machine, and eventually combining aura nodes.
And one thing that it can do too is I'm going to take my jetpack off for a second. I've got these levitators built in here, so I can step off that without taking any damage. And then I've got and I took my boots off and my jetpack. I fell now. Sorry, that was not part of the test. That was the part where a skeleton knocked me off. But I was going to say, then I've got this other one here. If I take my jetpack off again, this green one will bring me back up here to the base. So even if my jetpack dies or something like that, I could still use this as a way of getting back up. I only have to pillar out to the mining platform, and I keep forgetting I took my jetpack off. But I'd only have to, pillar up to here rather than pillaring up to the whole thing.
Wow. So you don't even need really a jetpack to even traverse this.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
I mean, to get on it, you do, but once you're on it, I mean,
yeah, I actually need to put in
almost
some sort
anywhere.
of ladder or something. But yeah, I could even just take it from here to here. Oh, yeah, I guess that works without the. Yeah, that works fine. Just hopping up here and then popping over, and accidentally turning on the drill.
And now the mining laser's on.
Yeah, it's a thing. But I also need to use, Thaumcraft has a thing called a magic mirror, which is kind of similar to a Mistcraft portal, where I'll be able to link two magic mirrors and take the output from the drilling machine here and send it somewhere else to be sorted, as long as it's in the same dimension.
So it's kind of like an ender chest, but within the same dimension.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I didn't even think of using ender chests for that, but yes, that would also be that would be comparable as well.
Yeah. No, see, I kind of like Magic Mirror ID just to kind of go with the whole Thaumcraft.
Well, the other
You
thing
know.
about the magic mirror though is that it doesn't, unlike the ender chest, it doesn't have a buffer that like intrinsically overflows or could fill
Oh,
up.
okay.
It just sends stuff through like a Mistcraft portal. Let me pull up the thing on it real quick. Let's see. It will kill anybody that goes through it though. So don't jump in it. It's not like
yes.
it doesn't have that in common with Mistcraft.
Okay.
So yeah, what you would do is like place one of them in one place, then the stuff that flies through comes out the other side. They can only be linked in pairs, which is fine. Um, and yeah, so what would happen is though that it would fly out the other mirror, and then I would just have like a hungry chest or something like that, eat them, and then I could have my little golems run around and sort everything.
Wow.
So what I'm probably gonna do is take the tower over here, and eventually make that my sorting hub, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And just have the magic mirrors always dumped there. And one of the nice things about this is the mirrors will maintain their link wherever they are, which I guess an ender chest would have too. But I was thinking the Mistcraft portal, I wouldn't be able to do that easily in the same way. Like I haven't tried a Mistcraft portal on a frame yet, but I would assume it's a terrible idea and I should never do that.
Yeah, that sounds like just waiting to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Now, what are these, like completely off topic, but like the little blue bars you have connected on the corners here?
those are Railcraft metal fences, and they can be dyed in any of the 16 colors, and they make great decorative objects. Now, you
Yeah,
can
they
only
do.
break them and recover them with their color if you use a crowbar, which I don't have on me.
Okay.
So if you don't have a lot of dye, make sure not to use your pickaxe on them.
They are really cool. Like they almost look comparable to like the Thaumcraft blocks, and so I was thinking maybe it was something with Thaumcraft that I've yet to discover.
Nope, not quite. And that's one of the great things about Feed the Beast, though, is just mixing all the mods together and getting cool stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
Railcraft has some of the neatest. They have those telephone pole materials, and they have the iron fence materials, and both of them are pretty crazy for like making little accents for your buildings.
Yeah, really cool.
Awesome. So, unless you have any other questions about anything, I might go ahead and wrap this video up because I have managed to somehow create the perfect merger between Red Power and Thaumcraft. Well, not perfect, because I'm going to keep working on it in future episodes while you're fast. That must be one of them gravity plate things, right?
Yes. 2 hours of work just so you can fly around
Yeah, I'm
in
still,
creative mode.
yeah, I'm still in the old jetpack electric era, but whatever, it gets me done.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm hoping Thaumcraft eventually has like a magic carpet or something, but for now, this is fine.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Well, they've already got the magic cloth, so, it can't be that
That's
far
true.
out.
That's very true.
The other thing I was going to ask, do beds on frames work, or do they lose their state? Do they count as being moved?
I have never tested that before.
Okay, well,
But that could actually be extremely interesting to see the outcome of that.
well, I was going to say, maybe we could, well, it's not nighttime, or is it about to be? No, it's about to be daytime. Well, that's an episode for another day. So until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee, joined by DocRedstone. Any final words, Doc?
No.
Yes! Keep adventuring. I always gotta be the contrarian one.